Take some DOS applications. Open the DOS applications concurrently. Now, we've got, how many DOS applications do we run concurrently? If this did it again, I'm going to be real happy. Good, it didn't. Good, it didn't. Thank you, thank you. Now, I'm going to start one. I'm going to start two. But do I have the hourglass? No. I'm going to close these. While I'm launching the DOS applications, grab these, go ahead and cascade them, put them up here at the same time, take this, minimize it over there, got my OS2 logo, there's some DOS fly files that are all running concurrently. 3 different DOS applications running concurrently on my desktop while I'm running music in the background with my digital audio. That's preemptive multitasking. That's the best DOS support of anything in the market today, and that's why I like it. Yeah! Now, I got to tell you, when you go out and record music in OS2, I recorded, and I did this in another environment, that after I got into some music, it said, sorry, I'm out of memory. In OS2, keep your file sizes under 4 gigabyte, okay? Thank you. Seriously. And NT's saying, high-performance file system and the NT file system are such great improvements. Okay, let's do some OS2 applications. Now, I got to show you. We talked about Show me, Dave. They want more stuff. They're hungry. Now, while I open that window right there, let me close this window here. This one's got a lot of icons on the screen. There they go. There they go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and launch Lotus 1, 2, 3 for OS2. I got to show you something. See the hourglass here? The Lotus people don't have to do that. I showed you 2 other applications. They disconnect from the system message queue and let me go work. So I went to them and said, why do you do that? They want you to see who it's registered to. These are the people that 2 years ago still used copy protection. Yeah, okay. So now that was just purely coding. It was not because of OS2. Now here's a Windows application or OS2 application. This is 32-bit OS2. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to open up within this application a desktop. What a desktop is here is I'm not just opening up Lotus 1, 2, 3 here. I'm also opening up Freelance Graphics for OS2. Now wait a minute, those are 2 separate products. Yeah, but when you install them in OS2, it says, hey, Lotus is already installed on your hard disk. Since I can reuse those same dynamic link libraries in the same code, why don't I just install in the same subdirectories and take 3 megabyte less data? Now, when I install, I've got Freelance down here, and Lotus is up, my worksheet is up there. My worksheet is in the foreground, so I got worksheet icons. When I click down here, now I've got Freelance icons. Those are smart icons. It's editing in place. And by the way, that's part of what will be in OLA 2.0. This is a shipping 32-bit application right now. It's called editing in place, okay? Now, hey, and I like OLA too. Don't think we won't grasp onto that standard sooner or later. You didn't hear it from me, okay? But we got some other things. We got some other things. Now, here's my worksheet in the foreground. I'm going to click on the graph icon. Lotus takes the data off this worksheet. It brings up a graph that it thinks best represents my data. When the graph is in the foreground, then, I go ahead and click on the Edit and Copy. Now, watch how quickly. Bam! OS2's clipboard, 512 megabyte, which means however big your hard disk is. Now, understand, this is virtual. You have to have hard disk space for it. I had some people go, but I thought it was virtual. No, 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 no. It has to exist somewhere, so it exists out in your hard disk, okay? Now, that is sitting out there on in my clipboard. I'm going to bring back up Describe here. I'm going to take Describe, put it side by side with the Lotus 1, 2, 3. And now this is pretty neat stuff. It's sitting out there in the clipboard. I'm going to move this over here. I'm going to take this and put about right here. I'm going to do an edit. Instead of a paste, I'm going to do a link, paste, link. So I take the data from my clipboard, put it in there, but I also create a dynamic data exchange link back. You know what I like about this product? Unlimited undo. Edit, undo. And when I mean unlimited, I mean thousands, folks. And I'm not kidding. You can really do that. Let me go back here, select OK. I wanted to put it there. So let me do it one more time. Do an edit, link, paste, link, put it back onto my desktop and put it in the right place. Now, when I go back over here, when I click on the graph, now I have graph icons. When I click over here on the pie chart, make it a pie chart. Bam! You're going to be, yeah. Now, this is better, though. This is better. Let's take this, and in the short amount of time I have, because I'm probably over, do you want me to show you more? Yes! Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a 32-bit preemptive multitasking, multi-threaded application with object-oriented code, and I don't program. This is pretty neat. Now, wait a minute. Who invented this iconic user interface? Microsoft? No. Apple? No. Xerox Palo Alto Research Center. Now, where did some of those smart people go? They started a company called Digitalk. They invented Smalltalk, the first object-oriented programming language for the PC. Their second product, big product, is this, Parts. Now, I got to tell you, a lot of people look at the OS/2 Workplace shell and they say, you know, this looks a lot like a Macintosh, David. Is this part of the IBM-Apple relationship? I don't know. But what I can tell you, as part of the IBM-Apple relationship, right now I'm not wearing socks, okay? Now, actually, let me get on. Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to build an application. I'm going to put this window element up in place because it's a visual application. You need to have a window element. Let me scale it a little bit bigger. I'm going to go along here. Now, this is pure 32-bit OS/2. Notice those folders and things? That's all Workplace shell stuff. I'm going to go back over here, and I'm going to scroll through the folders. Actually, let me go back a page, right there. I'm going to grab this thing here called a dial pane. I grab it and drag it and drop it, put it out on my folder here. Let's put it up about right there. Then I'm going to grab this thing called a horizontal slider, and I'm going to put it about right over here. Now, wait a minute. You're saying, David, this is an interface builder. We've seen a lot like it. But we have to go and write the business code behind it. No, you don't. That's why this is neat. Look at this. Show us, Dave. Thank you. Let me go ahead and put a line between... I'm going to put a line between there and there, and I'm going to say when this value, let me put it up so you can see it. When this value is changed, set the value there. When I go here, I'm going to say when this value is changed, set the value there. If I want to test the application, I click on Launch. I bring the application up. Let's move the dial. Bam. That's it. Okay? Now, but let's go further. These little lines here mean that everything's cool. If something was wrong, the line would be red, so I'd know immediately something was wrong. Well, how do I work with it? Click with the right mouse button. It's an object. It has a pop-up menu. All objects have a pop-up menu. Now, as it is, that thing is just fine, so I'm going to click on the no lines there, make those go away. Then I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to scroll back a page. If you scroll down, this says it's an integer entry field, accepts digits. So I grab this, drag it, and drop it over there. Now, I'm going to put a line between here and here that says when this value is entered, I guessed that meant the enter key, set the value there. Select OK, go ahead and launch it. From there, I can put it up here, put in a value of 65, hit enter, update this, update that. Okay? Now, but let's go further with this. This is neat. How do I link it to an application? You click on the interface icon. If I wanted to launch the application, I put it there. And I say, when this is launched, start Lotus 1, 2, 3 and describe. Don't have to because they're already running, so I can get rid of that. But as it is, this one here says DDE client. I put it on my workbench. The user never sees it. It's a non-visual part, so I put it over there. Now, this is the part I had to open the book for. I had to say, let me put this back. I had to find out that when you do this, you say, when the application is opened, initiate dynamic data exchange. And when the application is closed, terminate dynamic data exchange. Now, what am I going to DDE with? Well, if you double-click on an object in OS/2, it opens up its settings. I'm going to DDE with Lotus, and the name of the spreadsheet was graphic numbers. I am not a touch typist. Well, I do touch it, but that's about all. .wg2. Yes, spaces are valid in those long file names, but I still use .wg2 because, well, it's a bad habit. Now, I'm going to put it into cell B4 in the spreadsheet. Now, I could say put things in one cell and take things out of another cell. That's done. All I have to do is say, when this value is changed here, I want to put it in cell B4. Select OK. Go ahead and launch the application from right there. Go ahead and minimize this. Bring up Lotus 1, 2, 3 over here. Bring up Describe Word Processor over there. Bring this to the foreground. When I bring this up, notice, by the way, the spreadsheet cell that I'm going to is the one that's in yellow. It's over here. It is cell, bring the spreadsheet to the foreground. Where's cell B4? This is going to take a second to bring up there. There's cell B4. Okay? So let's take this. Let's add a value here of 64, 63. Hit enter. Update this. Update that. Update that. Update that. Bam, and I linked. Update that graph. Now, thank you. Now, yeah. Now watch this. Watch this. Watch the cell in the spreadsheet. You want to see fast inter-process communications? Let's change this. OS/2 2.1 is fast. That's pure and simple. Now, here is the really neat part. This is my favorite part. Now, wait a minute. Now, you haven't created an application. You built that little thing there. What do I do to make this into an application? You select File, Save as